You can see here an example of a multivariate chart where we are displaying multiple variables on one graph. In this particular instance, the open circles on each graph, on each line, associated with each line, is, or the circles themselves are the times. The y-axis is the strength, and the x-axis is the metal type. Now let's talk about different distributions. I mentioned the binomial distribution in the previous phase. It is used when two possible values or a binomial options are available. So pass fail, go no go, green red. You can see some of the other aspects of the binomial distribution. One thing that I'd like to point out is when the sample size is less than 30 is a critical aspect to the binomial distribution. The probability distribution of the binomial distribution, you can see here the equation for calculating it. Again, sample size is a major component to this distribution. The Poisson distribution is another distribution that I mentioned in the previous phase. It is dealing with attribute data, but with discrete integers. The Poisson distribution works best when the sample size is fairly large. Here are the equations for the Poisson distribution. In the previous slide, you saw that it's used often in the insurance industry for predicting events. X in this equation represents the number of occurrences desired. Another probability distribution is the chi-squared distribution. You can see the equation here for the chi-squared distribution. We will use this in the later phases with hypothesis testing. The t-distribution is used when sample size is less than 30 and we do not know the standard deviation, but the population is close to being normal, if not normal. You can see that the t-distribution is slightly platykurtic compared to the normal distribution. As the sample size reaches 30, the t-distribution takes closer and closer looks to the normal distribution. The last probability distribution I'd like to discuss is the F distribution. The F distribution deals with standard deviations or variances when you're trying to find the proportion. You can see here the degrees of freedom or sample size is another major component to the F distribution. In summary, we talked about multivariate analysis, which is the graph that displays multiple variables against each other, as well as different classes of distributions.